Oulu is the fifth largest city in Finland, and it was founded in 1605, so it is no wonder that different ghost stories linger through the streets of the city. One of these stories take place in the city center and in a house that was built in the 1700s. The house bearing name Santaholman talo, named after A. Santaholma osakeyhtiö. However, the house is known as a restaurant Karlenholvi and/or Pub Jumpru, and this building has its own ghost. However, Santaholma House has not always been just a restaurant, but it had served a variety of functions over the years. Between the years 1808 and 1809, the building served as a field hospital. Men wounded in the Battle of Revolax were brought to the building for treatment. In year 1810, the customs inspector Anton Ludwig Runeberg bought the house and the plot, and the future Finnish national poet Johan Ludwig Runeberg, who was Anton's nephew, lived in the house between years 1812 and 1814. After his uncle's death, J.L. Runeberg went back to home in Pietarsaari. In year 1822, a great fire rampaged in Oulu. The fire began in the morning of May 23rd from the master dyer's house. The fire quickly spread and destroyed most of the city's wooden buildings. Santaholma's house was among those destroyed, but only partially, as its first floor was made of stone. The house was repaired and the second floor was built of stone as well in the 1830s. The house has also been inhabited by other Finnish public figures, such as the painter Oskar Nylander and later the poet Aaro Hellaakoski, who ran a print shop in the building. The building has seen a wide variety of owners and has been able to function in many different roles, such as the judgment chapter, the dungeon, the liquid burner, the wine and cognac shop, and the post office. The house has been operating as the current restaurant since 1972, and a competition was held for its name when it was established. Karlenholvi got its name from King Charles IX of Sweden, who founded the city in 1605. However, the name Jumpru meant a unit of measurement in the Old Finnish language. 1 Jumpru is equal to 8.2 centiliters. Since the house is old, it is no wonder that at least one ghost lives there. However, the origin of the ghost cannot be known for sure, as many of the aforementioned historical events could point to the source of the ghost. Many have suggested previously mentioned celebrities such as J.L. Runeberg or Aaro Hellaakoski because they inhabited the house at one point in their lives. However, Runeberg died in Porvoo, probably by the complications caused by a stroke, and Hellaakoski passed away from cancer in Helsinki. The painter Oskar Nylander shot himself at the age of 22 in Oulu. Since the building has also served as a field hospital during the Battle of Revolax, it is possible that the ghost is a soldier who died from their injuries. During the Battle of Revolax, 94 Swedes and probably about 200 Russians were killed, yet it is not certain how many Russians fell and how many were just wounded. One plausible shore story, however, comes from Great Britain's city called Hull. At the end of June 1859, a Dutch schooner left from Hull with a destination in Oulu. The purpose of the voyage was to pick up a load of tar, as Oulu was once known as a tar city. However, in mid-July, the ship caught in a storm and quickly sank off the coast of Oulu. The ship's 7-person crew was rescued in Hailuoto. One of the ship's sailors left for Oulu and started to plunder. He was soon caught and thrown into a dungeon. The dungeon was located in the basement of the current restaurant. However, the sailor was forgotten in the dungeon, where he also died. It is believed that the sailor haunts the restaurant, reminiscing of his terrible fate. The ghost has been described as a bearded man whose haunting is fortunately so-called mild. The ghost has ordered drinks from the bar and then disappeared, returning later to look for his drink. The ghost swings the swinging doors, wanders in the stairs, turns off and on the restaurant lights, opens the beer taps, and moves items like serving carts from place to place. According to a former cleaner, ghosts stumped out their cigarette. However, increasing the electricity bill and wasting beer are the worst crimes of the ghost, and the ghost can be described as a gentle phenomenon that these days is concentrated in the cellar of the building.